Hey class, welcome back from spring break. I hope you all had an enjoyable week. Were able to recharge, have a little fun, do a little work, whatever you all were doing. Just welcome back. We're gonna pick up with the first of our actual information systems. Today, we're gonna look at enterprise applications, particularly around supply chain management and customer relationship management. We're going to look at how enterprise systems enable operational excellence. Like I said, we'll see what supply chain management's about. We'll see what customer relationship management's all about. And lastly, we'll see the challenges of putting enterprise applications in place. Our videos for this week, homework is the Lifetime Fitness video. And again, it's not due until I think April 2nd, along with the video for chapter 10.
Making new balance and Kanye West. What do these two things have in common? Probably not a whole lot, apart from the fact that they both suited running shoes. According to a report by Transparency Market Research, the global athletic footwear market.
So realize this video was done by a set of your peers some years ago at the University of Ottawa, showing Nike supply chain.
When it comes to designing the shoe, the step deserves its own presentation. Ch09 is a complex process that involves the collaboration of a variety of individuals, including runners, craftsmen, technicians, scientists, and doctors.
So we just watched the life of a Nike shoe. Great video. I've used it for a few years now. It really shows you what supply chain is all about, and that's really taking raw materials, assembling them, shipping them to warehouses or direct to customer, and ultimately to us, the consumer. Um, One of the questions to show we watched a video this week is, how does Nike's supply chain support its limited release sales plan and also its multi-colorway release plan? Um, to explain a little more, Nike issues many versions of the same shoe throughout a year. If you look at the, say, LeBron James signature shoe, the LeBron 16, it comes in many, many different colors called colorways that are similar to the limited release plan, and they'll release a colorway in February, release another one in March, release a special one for Martin Luther King Day and Christmas, in hopes of driving sales for the particular shoe up in that month. So how does the supply chain help support that model? So an enterprise resource planning system, or ERP, is one that is centered around a centralized database that holds data for our entire organization, regardless of the organizational unit. And it comes with modules and usually software modules that will connect to the one system and pass data from module to module. Much like I'm doing with NetSuite within Greystone, we're going to have one database right now is going to store all our financial data. It's going to do our AP, our AR, our general ledger. And then this year, I'm going to roll out our donor management system and put it into NetSuite, which we'll see later is CRM, or customer resource management. And within that model, I can put our help desk in there as well, reaching out to our internal customers. So we'll do more about CRM in a few slides or so. So again, as I just said, we have a central database, many different parts of the organization doing different jobs, all off that one database. So you see, if the HR slide, we look at hours worked, that can translate into a centralized database to something like a payroll system that cuts checks out of finance. One source of data means less problems with data, more clean data, more efficiencies, and we should have better operational excellence and be a little bit ahead of our competition. So what's the business value of enterprise system? As I said, increase in operational efficiency, more collaboration, which isn't included in the slide, better decision making, shrinking of our organization, rapid response to customer requests, rapid delivery of customer products, and an analytical tool set that can help us see how we're doing. Now the supply chain. Again, it's the process of procuring raw materials, assembling them into our finished product, and distributing that product. As we've seen in the Life of a Nike Shoe video, the upstream supply chain is our suppliers and their suppliers managing the raw materials to make our product and ultimately assembling our product. Now in 2019, that supply chain is disrupted a bit in that contract manufacturers are starting to sell products through things like AliExpress that normally would be in the downstream supply chain, going to warehouses, distributors, and direct sales, or they'd be going to the scrap heap because they weren't 100% perfect. So now we have another supply chain where contract manufacturers are selling directly to us as well. The downstream supply chain, as the video indicated, was the piece where the shoes get loaded on the boat and they go to the warehouse, a distributor kind of like East Bay or Finish Line, or direct sales or to a Nike outlet. similar for pretty much any product we can assemble and buy. Look at all the things that Watson can do for the supply chain. Um, as we're gearing up towards maybe starting or building onto that Watson product, we'll want to look at how Watson plays with the supply chain, see how he deals with real logistics companies, see how he enables better decision making, better planning of raw materials, maybe better shipping of goods and services. Real examples. He's big in supply chain. This slide just really illustrates what the Ottawa folks talked about. We have the contract manufacturers on the left hand part of the screen that are taking the outsole, the insole, the uppers, the laces, the eyelets, and stuff like that, and putting them together in a warehouse. We're shipped to a Nike distribution center, ultimately to retailers or consumers, direct from Nike sales, direct from distributor sales. What are some problems in the supply chain that systems can help us get around? One, inefficiencies in the supply chain can cost us up to 25-30% of our operating expenses. There's a few ways we can handle inventory as well. We can look at a just-in-time strategy, meaning the components we need to make our product are there when we need to make them. Finished goods will then leave after they're made on the assembly line right away. A safety stock, which a lot of larger companies will use, is they have a buffer or extra raw materials to eliminate the inefficiencies in the supply chain. But again, this is going to cost, well, not again, I didn't say anything, but it's going to cause an effect of warehousing costs. And lastly, we hope supply chain management can stop the bullwhip effect, where information about product demand gets distorted across the supply chain. Enterprise systems take a long time to implement, develop, buy, maintain, get through the system development lifecycle. We do so because we really try to model what we have in place now. We'll see in some systems like our CRM system, we may redesign our business process to meet the application. But in supply chain, we're going to find something that closely emulates or can model our existing supply chain. We're going to enable demand planning. Hopefully, we'll optimize our workforce and our manufacturing. We'll establish our inventory levels and our transportation routes, all goals of our SCMS. The internet has really done a lot for supply chain management in that we've now broken down the 9 to 5 time zone barrier. We can work 24/7, 365, regardless of what country in. We as Nike can have better control over our warehouses, how we pay our people by a proper enterprise system. Now, in the early 2000s, Nike was getting roasted beyond belief over their sweatshop labor practices in countries they have their contract suppliers, like in Indonesia. They're paying their workers pennies on the dollar to produce the products they're selling for hundreds of dollars. Now, with proper supply chain management in place, we can keep track of that labor and that cost of labor and make sure we're treating people properly. We'll have warehouse management, we'll have transportation management. What my wife's company Geodis does is transportation management for IBM and other companies. They have global supply chain systems. They're a French-based company to manage all the relationships. They could use a system overhaul, probably built around Watson, but they do a good enough job that they maintain their SLAs and their contracts, but they could do better. I like to introduce this slide by looking at Dell. Dell has two business models that are unique to them. First is a build to store. They'll build computers, retail or um, industrial based, business based, for warehouses and stores to stock. Their other model is built on demand by criteria that we as a shopper will let them have. The build to stock model, we really have to rely on data warehouses and historical sales data to predict what kind of stocking levels we'll have. There was a story back in 2013 where Dell couldn't meet customer demand for laptops in December for Christmas season because it didn't properly analyze the previous year's sales and the previous month's sales. Where a pull-based model is web-based, our customer orders triggers our supply chain. That's really their core model, is building on demand. Okay. Way back when, most cars were built to stock, and you could build your own car at a dealer. I have a Chevy Colorado. I could go in and to a dealer and say, I want this model with this interior, this color scheme, this, that, and the other thing. And they would build it for me. It would take a few months and we would get it. Now you go to a dealer and you want all these things, and they're going to search an inventory and hope to find one built to stock somewhere in the close vicinity where you can afford to get it shipped to you. And it's pretty much what we see here. In the push base, we look at our distributor in the middle. Inventory is based on forecasts. Manufacturer production is based on forecasts, and we supply to forecast. Our retailer stocks its product based on forecasts. And us, the consumer, buy what's on the shelves. In pull-based, we buy whatever we want. We supply to order, we produce to order, etc. The internet supply chain looks kind of scary, right? Thus the need for supply chain management. Look at what we have here. We have a private industry network, say, of contract manufacturers in China making apparel. They're all going to share the same workforce, the same raw material suppliers, maybe even the same warehouses, all under a network. And we have our logistics providers like Geodis, or even like UPS, FedEx, the final delivery, ultimately our customers. Important to know, the internet-driven supply chain really starts with the customer. All relationships are bidirectional. Where do we get value from supply chain? I'm going to tell you, it's hard to derive value from a supply chain management system if we're building one out, because they do take a long time. We have to emulate what we have now. Development costs are going to be high. But if we can put one in place, we're going to match supply to demand. We're not going to have that buffer overstock. We're going to reduce the bullwhip effect. We'll reduce inventory levels, improve delivery, speed product time to market. Can you see if Nike was introducing the latest whatever shoe they have and they can't make the marketplace? We're going to use our assets more efficiently. We're going to increase sales. Particular to my family, Nike has a limited release jersey set for the U.S. women's national soccer team that's going to play the World Cup in France this year. They've pretty much done what they do with their footwear and put it into a soccer jersey. They anticipate what demand will be for these jerseys. They made a very short supply of them in hopes to sell out and not replenish. So they want to drive demand now instead of waiting for the summer when the World Cup actually hits, where we'll see on eBay and aftermarket sources where the jerseys normally cost maybe $80, they're going to go for $150, $160, because the demand will be really high once the games start. CRM, customer relationship management. This is where we get that supplier customer intimacy. One of the main reasons we put systems in place from all the way back in chapter 1, we get it here. We want customer relationship management so we can know our customer, what they like, what we don't like, so we can maintain them as a customer. I recently went to Boston for a Innovation Center conference meeting with Verizon. I stayed at a Hilton property. I'm a Hilton Honors member. Right now it's silver level. I don't travel as much anymore. And if we do, they're really dictated by a soccer tournament. So I try to stay at Hilton as much as I can. Well, I booked. I get to the property. I have my 2 water bottles free for being a member. I have my room that's on a higher floor, close proximity to elevator, extra towels, good view out the window, refrigerator in the room, all based on having a system in place where they get to know me, building that relationship. That's what CRM is all about. We capture data that's important to our organization about our customers. We analyze that customer data ultimately to market to them. We're going to distribute customer information across our platform. The Hilton brand knows me. The properties know me. Housekeeping knows me. Their financial systems know me. They all know me. And using an enterprise system with one set of data, we have one view of Al. Things we can do with CRM. Marketing. Our marketing campaigns are now web-based through CRM, through applications like Salesforce or Microsoft CRM. We store our content. We do data analysis. We do trends. We do statistical forecasting on penetration. Verizon's doing that now with its launch of 5G. They're marketing to their target areas. Quite hard to get people to look at what 5G is going to bring to them. Right now, it's strictly West Coast to Chicago. Our sales departments will run off CRM. I still have a friend who used to be the general manager of the Renegades. He's since gave it up. They run their entire sales force off CRM applications. They'll cold call or call existing ticket holders to try to get them into the stadium. I see that a lot with the New York Red Bulls, the Major League Soccer team I support. Their CRM application will call and email me monthly to try to get me out there with different promotions and incentives to go. Finally, on the service side, we can have a call center, like I said I want to do at Greystone. We've seen in a Comcast video where they've integrated with Salesforce to provide great customer service to their customers. Companies like Xerox, Bell Copiers out of Hyde Park will use a CRM application to schedule their fleet of vehicles to provide services to customers. At Greystone, I may integrate my fleet software into our CRM to have better control of where my fleet is. Right now, we use smart GPS systems in our vehicles that integrate with our Verizon accounts. I can move them into one set of data and I can see how they're really servicing my customers at our houses. CRM can be custom developed for how we want to deal with our customers or to large-scale enterprise applications. We can think of a CRM application as a disruptive technology to your contacts in your email, and even way back to the Rolodex. Ironically, one of our senior staff at Greystone still uses a Rolodex. We can manage our employees through ERM management, or what we call in the business human capital management, setting objectives, performance reports, compensation, training. At Greystone, we use ADP for that currently, with the hope within the next 2 years to roll that into our NetSuite application. Partner relationship management, as you can see, we can see how our partners are performing. We can look at leads, pricing, promotions. Every CRM application is going to have a customer service part to it. How we relate to what our customers need. Going to be web-based, maybe some self-serve capabilities. You guys may see it in the e-commerce site you use if you don't remember a password. You click forget password, they send you an email. That's all self-service, that resetting of that password. We're going to have marketing features within our CRM and ultimately Salesforce automation, telling our salespeople where to go for sales. In 2017, this really shows how we've been marketing to our customers. 2 years ago, 29% we were sending mail to, 30% were on the phone. So almost 60% of our getting in touch with customers was done on traditional means. And we look at email at 16%, web 16%, email 17%, and social media almost 7%. In 2019, social media is probably about 16%, 17%. Email is about 20%. Web is about 20 to 25%. And we still do some direct mail and telephone, but with all the robocall spam phishing going around today, I can see telephone sales going out the window because people are simply not picking up their phones. And especially in the US with the rising cost of the postal service, people aren't using direct mail anymore. I would bet by 2021, we won't see direct mail or telephone as a means to market to customers.
What is CRM? In a few short minutes, not only will you know the answer, but you're probably going to use what you learned here to make your business more efficient and more profitable. Because let's face it, operating a business has its challenges. Every day you have to make decisions that affect your employees. Whether you're deciding what kind of coffee to buy for the office, how much to spend on recruiting, which software is best for managing your sales pipeline. We get it. You wear a lot of hats. And we're sure that on top of all of that, managing your customer relationships is one of your major priorities. If you don't know what CRM stands for, or what you might need it for, don't worry because you're not alone. But in just a few minutes, not only will you know exactly what CRM is, but you'll probably be scheming up a few different ways that using a CRM system will dramatically improve your business and boost your profits. So let's get to it, shall we? The acronym CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. But that's pretty general, isn't it? I mean, what does customer relationship management actually mean for a business? And why is it necessary to have a customer relationship management system in place? Let's drill down a little bit more. CRM in its simplest form is a way to manage leads, people interested in your business, and your existing customers in the most efficient way possible to extract the most value. And by that, I of course mean money. More specifically, it refers to the system a company uses to analyze customer interactions and enter data throughout the customer lifecycle. The goal of CRM is to improve business relationships with customers through retention and acquisition. And you're able to effectively manage the needs of your customers. More leads end up being happy and paying customers. You build a loyal customer base who become your advocate.
So I get a great rundown of what CRM is, as does this slide. If we look at sales, as the video said, account management, lead management, order management, sales planning, field sales, and analytics. Everything ends with analytics. Look at marketing, campaign management, channel promotions, events management, market planning, market operations, service delivery, whether it's product or support, customer satisfaction management, return management, service planning, call center and help desk, service analytics. See, a lot of this will feed into our supply chain systems. I talked about customer loyalty a bit when I referenced Hilton. It's kind of what this slide is showing in this flow. We receive a request for something, we get our customer information. This is really going to show two types of customers, one that's a member and one that's not. So we're going to search for me in the customer database. Is my information available? No, it's not. So you're going to get to the best agent and then resolve the issue. Am I a current customer yet? Are you a good customer? If yes, I'm going to special service offers and better service. If no, I get the same service as if I wasn't even registered as a customer. So we're really trying to keep our good customers while still trying to provide good support to our not so good customers, ultimately to get everyone to be a VIP. Operational CRM and analytical CRM. Operational CRM, really think of transaction processing. That's the lower level of our organization. Marketing automation, take the mundane set of processes that we do and put them into our CRM to handle for us. Call center and customer support automation, sales call automation. CRM is what's led to robocalls and robo email. Analytical CRM, however, is based on data warehouses, and that's where we get that customer lifetime value metric from, among other ways to market to our customers. This is just a slide that's detailing how a data warehouse works within an analytical CRM. We see our data warehouse and the OLAP, or predictive analysis tools, we talked about in the database chapter. The parts of our customer data and CRM that we're using, ultimately to see what? Who are our good customers, who are our bad ones, who are our bad suppliers, who are our good ones. What's the business value of CRM? Better customer satisfaction, maintaining customers, less direct marketing costs, less marketing costs to our customers, lower costs for keeping customers or acquiring customers, increased sales revenue, decrease in churn rate. Challenges to enterprise systems as we finish up chapter 9 and look forward to chapter 10, which we get into knowledge work and decision making. Very expensive to purchase. In 2015, the average cost of a custom-made ERP was $6.1 million. I'm not able to say the dollars we spent on NetSuite, but it was quite substantial. Technology changes. Because it takes so long to build an enterprise application, what if our technology, when we bought it, isn't good enough to run the application we just built? And it happens. And then we're buying technology again to support our platform, and now we've doubled or tripled the cost of the project. Business process and business model changes. How do we teach our customers and our clients and our workforce how to use the application? Costs of switching, dependence on vendors. We see in the Suzuki video the Maruti Suzuki video where they ultimately ran their entire shop on Oracle um, to provide that enterprise application layer that they so desperately needed to become India's #1 car dealer. And lastly, data standardization. So that video we watched, they're an open source CRM application, meaning people can make changes to their code, and that's granted, and it's an open platform, much like we see with Linux or Firefox. Enterprise applications are more and more being web enabled, cloud enabled, have a mobile platform or a mobile workforce. Big applications on smaller devices tend not to work so well. They're getting there. They really are. NetSuite application we have on our phones is still a little clunky to manage, but we can. And it next year and the year after, we're going to see more of this stuff going to a mobile platform as we're moving away from bigger laptops to more combo laptops or down to our cell phones and tablets in general. Social CRM is integrating social media with our customer relationship management. It's a way to communicate to our customers how they like to communicate. The millennials and your peers are communicating through Snapchat and Instagram, some Twitter, going away from Facebook where my generation communicates to. So we're going to integrate social media based on our client set. Greystone, we integrate our CRM with Facebook because we have an older population, some Twitter. We're not really integrated with our Instagram platform so much, nor do we have a Snapchat platform. Companies like Disney, who just took over Fox, integrate their entire customer relationship management around how they use social media to market their products, their entertainment packages, their destinations. Ultimately back-ended by BI, and again, Watson fits into CRM. Let's do some research on Watson CRM and see who's using it, and let's put that into our papers as well. I'm going to share some great success stories from Watson's paper last semester with you guys. It'll be in resources. It really shows how students integrated these 4 chapters we're going to look at, and even the infrastructure pieces and the development pieces that we're going to look after this to maximize their effort for the Watson paper.